We live in serious times, and we need to know what time it is.
You are listening to the Revolutionary Radio, African Eyes Radio.
In the Bible, in the 3rd chapter of the book of Ecclesiastes, it says there's a time for everything under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to come and a time to go. A time to rend and a time to sow. What time is it, black man? What time is it, black woman?
We live in dangerous times.
We cry for peace.
Leboa, Lingala, Tumbuka, Kiswahili, help us identify the issues in Africa. Internalize our surroundings. Break down what is holding us back in Africa as we look forward in progress. It is 2 o'clock on the dot. I am Tando Matozoma. This is on African Time. Welcome to the listeners, young and old, near and far. If you're just joining us, then you are locked into African Eyes Radio, and we are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Matozoma. I promise to always give you more, and I will never give you less. Nonetheless, we always have to start off our show with the greatest of success. Now, on today's discussion, well, I feel it's an enlightenment. We'd like to focus on names. Do you know the meaning of your name? Many people don't know what their names have a serious influence on them as an individual. Your name can define and shape your character and personality. Have you ever noticed the similarities of how a person's name is linked to who they are? We'll have that and a lot more coming up. And as well, later on in the segment, we'll be having audio clips from Truvon explaining the Ghanaian point of view of how to pronounce your name in Twi, which I think is one of the local languages there in Ghana. And later on, we'll also have Loyo Kazikanji to also be giving us names and baby meanings from them in Zulu, which we find adorable. So we'll have these and more discussions coming up. But before we do, what I'd like from you is to just hit us up on our WhatsApp line, which is 079-089-3671. I want to hear your views, your comments. Today, I want to just hear the meaning of your name. Where did it come from? What is the whole backstory behind it? Don't forget to also follow us on our Facebook page, which is African Eyes Media. And as well, we're also on Instagram. So please follow us and we'll follow you back with love. The handle is African_Eyes_Media in small caps. There'll be this and a lot more coming up. But before we leave, I'd love a favor from the listeners out there. I also want you to get a pen and paper, because we'll also have multiple choice quizzes just to find out who you are behind the name. What is your characteristics? We'll have this and a lot more coming up soon. So stay tuned, stay live. Remember, you still on African Eyes Radio, and we are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Matozoma.
You are listening to the Revolutionary Radio, African Eyes Radio.
Welcome back to the show, and if you're just joining us, well, then you're in luck. You are still locked into African Eyes Radio, and we are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Matozoma. Do you know the meaning of your name? Many people don't know the meaning of the name and how serious influence it is to them as an individual. Did you know your name can actually define your shape of character and personality? Have you ever noticed the similarities of your name actually connect or linked with you? We'll have this and a lot more coming up on today's segment. But before we do, I just want us to have a Ghanaian point of view, or must I say an African point of view, from an audio clip I was listening to by Truvon, where she explains how we can actually also pronounce our names in Thai or Twi. I think it's like the Ghanaian Zulu there, and she'll just help us understand a little bit of the back history on how they actually name a child on that certain day. So it's no more about the months or the years or the stars. You can actually name your child or be given a title by the certain day. So we'll have this and a little more. So let's just hear what she has to say.
question is, how do you get a name before you're given a name by your parents? I'm going to answer this shortly, but let me give you a brief history about naming your child in Ghana. The Ghanaian culture, unlike the Western world where when a baby is born, they are named right at the hospital, in the Ghanaian culture, you don't do that. When a baby is born, the mother and the baby goes home and keep themselves away from everybody. 1 week, nobody sees the baby except for the parents and maybe one or two in-laws that you, the parents, you really trust spiritually. There's this particular disease that it is believed in our culture that people with black magic can transfer to your baby. It is called Asram. I don't know the English name for that. This is done just to protect the baby from anyone with any black magic that can hurt them. And then after 1 week, exactly a week of the day that the baby is born, they are now outdoors to the whole world to see. That is when you do the naming ceremony. It can be a very little ceremony, it can be extravagant ceremony, it just depends on what you, the parents, want to do with that. The Muslims do the same thing. It is called Sunnah in the Muslim community. It's the same way. Exactly a week after the baby is born, the Malam comes, name the baby, blesses them, say all the good things you want the baby to be onto the baby's life, and then the rest is just merrymaking. Because we believe that even birth is a matter of life and death. So if you've survived, that is cause for a big celebration. So Christians do the same with the celebration, but most of them do it like 3 months after, because they want the mother to have enough time to heal, to have enough energy, to enjoy the party. Now, let's go find out what your baby or your name would be if you're Ghanaian and how to pronounce it. So there are 7 days in the week, and these names are grouped into 2. We have the female name and then we have the male name. So I'm going to start with Monday. If you're Monday born and you're male, you are called Kwejo or Jojo. And if you're female, you are called Ajwa or Ajwa. So let's move to the second day, which is the Tuesday. If you're a Tuesday born and you're male, you are called Kwabena. And if you are female, you are called Abina. Let's move on to Wednesday, which is the 3rd day of the week. If you are male born on Wednesday, you are called Kweku. And if you're a female born, you are called Epia. To the 4th day, which is the Thursday. If you're a Thursday born and you're male, you are called Yao. And if you're a female, you are called Ya. And then one thing about these names is you can add any title you want to add to it. You can add, say, Nana. So most people are called Nana Ya or Mame Ya. We have all these titles that you can add to the name. And if you're Friday born, you are Kofi if you're a male. And if you're a female, you are called Efia or Efua. The next day of the week will be a Saturday. If you're a male born on a Saturday, you are called Kwame. And if you're a female, you are called Ama. So let's move on to the last day of the week, which is a Sunday. If you're a Sunday born and you're a male, you are called Kwesi. And if you're a female, you are called Akosia. I promise you I was going to tell you the day of the week that I was born and why I'm so excited, why I love that day. And that will be on Friday. I mean, who doesn't love Friday? Tell me, I am so excited I was born on a Friday because, that is the best day of the week if you ask me. Friday is when everybody is so excited, they're so happy that, all the stress is over, they can finally relax, go chill, hang out with friends and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited I was born on a Friday. So, yes, my African, local, Ghanaian, God-given name is Efia. So if you see me anywhere, you can definitely call me Efia, Mami Efia, Nanefia, I would gladly respond to that. So now that you know all these names, let me know in the comment section what is your African God-given name. How Ghanaian God-given name is Efia. So if you see me anywhere, you can definitely call me Efia, Mami Efia, Nane Efia. I would gladly respond to that. So now that you know all these names, let me know in the comment section what is your African God-given name in Chi. Let me know in the comment section. And then next time you meet any Ghanaian or you come to Ghana and they ask you what your name is, guess what? Surprise them with your African God-given name.
Wow, thank you, Mama Efia, for your Ghanaian point of view of how we can actually pronounce our names in Twi. And listening to that whole segment, I thought to myself, you know what? I also want to know what's my name. So I was taking down my pen and paper and listening to what she had to say. And funny enough, I thought, let me also just trundle my thoughts and think how far back, when was I born, what day it was, and I got it. It was a Monday. So my name is Kwejo, but you can call me Jojo. Well, you know, I love you, Choo. I feel that's really fun for everyone to just tag along. So on today's show, just call me Kwejo or Jojo. That is my Ghanaian name that was given to me since I found out. So now back to the whole quiz and everything that comes together. Do you understand your name? Is your name one of the rarest names ever known or mentioned? We're gonna have this and a lot more, but before we do, I just want us to prepare our pens and paper because I'm ready to set these questions. I want to ask you, the listeners there at home, 10 questions that just define you and your name, and you know, you could discover something new about yourself today. You never know. So I hope to the listeners out there, you have your pen and paper ready. We're going to play multiple choice, whereby I ask you 10 questions that will help define your character or your personality about your name. And we get to find out a little bit more about yourself. So you're going to have a list of questions, 10 questions, and you have 4 options to pick from, and then from there, after every 10 seconds of me asking a question, I will give you a mark allocation, and then you put that amount or that mark on the side, and then in total, when we're done with all our 10 questions and you have your total mark, I will let you know what you are or what kind of character are you as a person, which is linked close to your name, so we have a better understanding of who you are. So are we ready? All right, let's begin. Question 1. Pick a letter that contains the first letter of your name. So that means if your name, by example, is me, Tando, my first letter is T, right? All right. So our first option is between M and Q. So it's MNOPQ. That's option A. Option B is the letters that start with A, B, C, D, E, F. So it's A to F, right? And then option C is between S and Z. So it's the last link, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And option D is between H and L. So it's H, I, J, K, L. I hope you guys are writing that down. All right. From there on out, let's just recap. The question is, pick the first letter of each of your name in one of these options. So if it's option A, that's between M and Q. So it's MNOPQ. Option A is the first letters running up, so it's A, B, C, D, E, F. And then option C is between S and Z. Option D is between G and L. All right, I'll give you guys some 10 seconds. From that 10 seconds, option A, you would mark down 10 points. Option B, you'd mark down 30 points. Option C, you'd mark down 20 points. And option D, you'd mark down 40 points. All right, let's go to question 2. Were you named after a person? If you said A, that would say not at all or not that you know of. Option B, you so sure that you like definitely not. Option C, yes, you were named after a family member. Or option D, you were named after a family friend. So let me recap that. Question 2, were you named after a person? If you're not sure, you'd say option A. But if you're definitely sure that you were not named after a person, that is option B. Option C is when you are named after a family member, or option D, you were named after a family friend. Now let's go into the marks again. So if you said A, not that you know of, you would put in 30 points. If you said option B, which is definitely not, you'd say 40. If you said option D, yep, I am named after a family member, put down 10 points. And if you said option D, I was named after a family friend, put down 20 points, okay? Now, question 3. Does your name sound exotic? If you said option A, probably, but most of the people in South Africa wouldn't say so. That's your option A. But if you said B, no, by no means, then we'll see. If you said option C, yeah, my name makes people ask me the question once again, is my name exotic? Well, they do now and again. Or option D, no, but it does not come out exotic. So if you said your name sounds exotic, option A would be not that you know of. Option B, no. Option C, yeah, but it makes people want to ask the question again, what is your name? Or option C, no, it is rare, but it doesn't sound exotic. Then there are your 4 options. If you said A, you would mark down 20 points. If you said B, you'd mark down 10. If you said C, put down 30 points on the side. And if you said D, put down 40. I hope you guys are getting excited because I'm also curious to find out what are you guys writing on those pen and paper. Now, question 4. How do you know you spend more time? Well, how do you spend your free time actually? Yeah, that's pretty much it. How do you spend your free time? Is it option A, driving a cool car? Option B, playing with a puppy? Option C, reading a book? Or option D, going out shopping with your friends? I'll rephrase the question again. How do you spend your free time? Option A, driving a cool car. Option B, playing with a puppy. Option C, reading a book. Or option D, going shopping with your friends. If you said A, mark down 40 points on the side. If you said option B, playing with a puppy, put down 20 points. If you said C, reading a book, put down 10. And if you like going shopping with your friends, put down 30 points. Woo! This has got me enthusiastic because I'm also marking along with you guys, yeah? Question 5. Sorry about that. Question 5. How many friends do you have? If you said option A, you prefer to be alone and spend quiet time with yourself, that's a good thing. You know, sometimes self-reflection helps. Relaxing, having me time is good. If you said B, I have a few friends, but those are true friends, that would be your second option. If you said C, I have a lot of friends, well, there it is. You have too many friends that you can't keep eye on. But now, if you are saying option D, I have hundreds of friends, and you can check my Facebook, well, that's your 4th and final answer. So recapping the question, how many friends do you have? If you said, I prefer to be alone and spend quality time on myself, put down 20 points on option A. If you said B, I have a few friends, but those are true friends, put down 40 points on the side of that statement. If you said option C, I have a lot of friends, well, that's it. You have a lot of friends. Put down 30 points. It seems interesting, isn't it? But now, if you have hundreds of friends and you're like, my point of verification is Facebook, check my page, put down 10 points. Whew. To the listeners out there, I'm getting so excited. We are going halfway into our questionnaire. But before we do, I still want to hear your views and reviews of what is your name? What is the meaning? Where does it come from? What is the story behind it? Hit us up on our WhatsApp line, which is 079-089-3671. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, which is African Eyes Media. And as well, we on Instagram, and our handle is African_Eyes_Media in small caps. If you follow us, we'll follow you with love. We'll be back after these short messages. I just want you to calculate the first half of those questionnaires and see what your total is, and then we will go for part 2 of the questionnaire, where we find out your personality, your traits behind your name, and understanding more of you. We'll be back in a few. identify, internalize, progress.
If you want truth, we are the truth. Come rain or shine, you'll find what you're looking for. We are the custodians of truth. The surgeons that bring light out from the darkness. You want the revolution? We are the revolution. This is
The revolutionary. Welcome back to the show, and if you're just joining us, well then, where have you been? It's been a while, and all to the listeners who are with me from the beginning of the show, I'd like to thank you for staying tuned on African Eyes Radio, and we are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Matazoma. Now, earlier on, we were discussing what is the meaning of your name. How many people know that their names have a serious influence on them as individuals? Haven't you noticed your name defines and shapes your character and personality? Have you also noticed that the similar person with the name lives up to it? We also had an audio clip by Truvon who explained the African point of view on how to discover your name or how they are named by the certain day that comes forth. And as well, we also had a little bit of embedded knowledge of how can you name yourself and who are you. I found out my name is Kodwa or Juju. So I'd love everyone to call me Juju today on the show. And as well, we had a questionnaire just trying to define who we are or what characteristics do we live up to. And we were only on the first part of the segment. Now back to the second part of the segment, and later on we'll also have an audio clip by Uyolokazi Kaji, who will be explaining or defining baby names that you want to name your baby in Zulu, which she loved. So we'll have that and more. Now back to our questionnaire. Question 6. Which word describes you best? So give us one word that describes you best. Are you A, an observer, B, a leader, C, a creator, or D, a follower? So I'll repeat the question again. We're on the second half of our segment doing questionnaires, trying to define who we are by our names or find out the characteristics of who we are and do we live up to that name. So the question was, which is the best word you could describe yourself? Are you A, an observer, B, a leader, C, a creator, or D, a follower? I'll give you 10 seconds. And meanwhile you're doing that, I hope you also remember we're scoring this for every choice you make. So if you said A, please put 20 points on the side. If you said B, you're a leader, put 40. If you said C, you're a creator, put 30. And if you said D, you're a follower, put 10. That's actually interesting for me, hey? I don't know how to describe myself, but then, hey, questions are questions. Now, question 7. Does your name originate from another language? If you said A, not really sure, or B, no, it's 100% local, or C, it's a unique name that was created by my parents, or D, yes, it comes from another culture. So the question was, on question 7, does your name originate from another language? If you said A, that means I'm not really sure. B, no, it's 100% local. C, it is a unique name and it came from my parents who created it for me, especially. Or D, yes, it comes from another culture. I'll give you guys 10 seconds again. If A was your answer and you said you're not really sure, put 20 points on the side. And if your option was B and you said no, it's 100% local, put 10. Score yourself 10. If you said C, it's a unique name which your parents created for you, I'd like you guys to put in maybe 30 points and see how it goes. And if you said D, yes, it is from another culture, then put 40 points on yourself. So we're going to question 9 now. How many subliminals are there in your name? Let me repeat that again. How many subliminals are there in your name? If your answer was 1, that is A. If you said 2, B, well, that would be 2. If you said C was 3, wow, then you have a lot of explaining to do. And if your final answer was more than 3, well, that'd be D. So, wow. How many subliminal names do I have? I'm curious to find out myself. But going back to question 8, we said how many subliminals are there in your name? So is it 1, which is A? If it's option 2, Well, then that's B. If you said C, that is 3. And if you said more than 3, that would be option D, the fourth one. And we will be scoring it saying A would have been 20 points, B would have been 10 points, C would have been 30 points, and then obviously if they're more than 3, it will be 40 points. I'm really curious to find out about that one, but hopefully we'll have more time just to find out how many subliminals do you have in your name. But let's go to question 9 because I'm excited. We have 2 more questions to go, and then we'll find out a little bit better about ourselves, our character, our personality, and maybe does it really link up to our names. So question 9, which words would best describe yourself? I don't know. That's really a good one. So A, are you persistent, innovative, and open-minded? B, thoughtful, quiet, and observant? C, curious, cheerful, and artistic? Or D, devoted, passionate, and punctual? Let's go back to the question. Which words best describe yourself? Are you A, persistent, innovative, and open-minded? Or are you B, thoughtful, quiet, and observant? Or are you C, curious, cheerful, artistic? Or are you D, devoted, passionate, and punctual? I'll give you guys another 10 seconds, but meanwhile we're doing that, I just also want us to just score the points and just find out how far we're getting to, because we have one more question left and it's driving me up the wall. I want to know what characteristic describe us right now. My name it's got me buzzing right now. So if you said you are A, persistent, innovative, and open-minded, score yourself 40 points. If you are B, thoughtful, quiet, and observant, put 20 there on the side. If you are C, curious, cheerful, and artistic, put 30. And if you are D, devoted, passionate, and punctual, let's just put 10 there on the side, okay? Now for our last final question before we reach our conclusion of discovering what kind of characteristics we are. Does it actually describe our names? Drum roll, please. Question 10. Choose an animal that you like most. You have option A, which is a wolf. Option B, which is a fox. Option C, which is an owl. And option D, which is a hare, or here that we say ekaya, a rabbit. All right? So choose the animal you like most. Is it A, a wolf, B, a fox, C, an owl, or D, a rabbit, or we call it a hare? Either or. So if you said A, mark yourself with 40 points. If you said B, a fox, put 30. If you said C, an owl, put 20. And last but not least, if you love a rabbit or a hare, it's one and the same thing. Potato, potato, put 10 points there. Now I want all of you listeners out there to start calculating from question 1 to question 10. How much did you make in total? And then after a few seconds, I will let you know where we range in scores. And you tell me if this lives up to your characteristic and personality. And does it work hand in hand with your name? I don't know. Questions. We've reached the end of the questions. Now it's time for the answers to the survey that best describes you. And we're still talking about names. What is the meaning of your name? Does it really show, or do you really live up to your name? So we'll have this and a lot more. Let's just go into it. I hope that everyone's reached their conclusion, their total amounts. Let's start going with the scoring and see where do you stand. Before we do, please hit us up on our WhatsApp line, which is 079 089 3671. I want to hear your views, your reviews on this topic, and as well, I want to find out your scores. Maybe we have something in common, maybe we don't. As well, don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, which is African Eyes Media. We are also on Instagram, so if you follow us, we will follow you back with love. And our handle is African_eyes_media in small caps. After these short messages, I'm going to tell you the conclusions of our questionnaire, and we'll also have a segment by Yolakazi Kanji, who's going to be explaining to us the Zulu naming terms of a baby that she finds adorable. And then if you want to have a child in the future, you could name them that. So stay tuned with us, stay live, and don't forget, you are still locked into African Eyes Radio, and we are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Macazoma. Welcome back to the show, and if you're just joining us, where have you been? I am upset with you. It took you a long time to join us. We are on Africanized Radio, and you are on African Time with your host, doing the most, Tando Makazoma. And to all those people that were listening beforehand, I'd love to thank you for staying tuned with us. Earlier on, we were discussing the matters of what's the meaning of your name. Do you feel that you live up to your name? Haven't you noticed that your name actually builds or defines your characteristics and your personality? There's so many similarities. We had an interview earlier on by Truvan, who was explaining the African point of view of how to obtain your name in Ghana by the day you were born in. It was one of those marvelous things. But if you've missed out, it's not a problem. You can still link up with us on our YouTube channel, which is African Eyes Media, and you'll find out more and more content that you might even love that you've missed out on. And as well, we were on the concept of making a questionnaire to see if we actually live up to our names, if it defines who we really are or not. So we're done with the questionnaires, and all the listeners, I think they're ready. I think all of you have your totals set, and now you want to know, where do you stand? Does this characteristics that we did with our questionnaires actually link up to your name? And I might even tell you an origin story of my name if we still have enough time.
You are listening to the Revolutionary Radio, African Eyes Radio.
Identify, internalize, progress.
If you want truth, we are that truth. Come rain or shine, you will find what you're looking for. We are the custodians of truth. The surgeons that bring light out from the darkness. You want the revolution? We are the revolution. This is
The Revolutionary. Now, if you scored between 170, you are called a doer. You are known for setting goals and always achieving them. Everyone who knows you always relies on you, and you are the most important person when it comes to serious matters. Your friends are enthusiastic to share their secrets with you because they know you will keep it amongst yourself, and you're extremely trustworthy. You are a positive person, knows how to create a cheerful atmosphere. You always set negotiations aside, but when it comes to that, people love putting you in the forefront of your people skills. You don't mind working and being bossed around as long as the results are good. Wow, so if you're a doer, you range between 170. But now, if you're from 180 to 250, we call you the thinker. So now the thinker, you probably like the quiet side. You always want time to yourself and be alone. You are a miraculous person who likes observation, and your skills are always untapped. You work hard and you like accomplishing tasks by yourself on your own without a team. Most people tend to consider you unsociable, not knowing that the few people that know you admire your amazing personalities, but you only show that to a chosen few. You are romantic at heart, you love nature, and you love playing calm games, always reenacting things that will make you feel tranquil. And the people that are close to you just love admiring who you are and what you do with your life. Your friends and family appreciate you and they adore you. So we see, if you're 180 to 250, you that thinker, the nerd, the one who likes to keep to themselves, but you are open to the select few people that you know you can nurture yourself and be open with and share your truth. Now, if you range from 260 to 320, then you are called the maker. You're the one that sends that score out. Your main characteristic is always having curiosity. Even as a child, your parents found it hard to even answer particular questions. But you're the type of person that people run to when they have many problems, because you always generate ideas that lead to probable solutions in helping them. People describe you as a risk taker. Your sense of humor has always saved you more often than not. You are impulsive, emotional, and you also creative, but typically energetic. You have your moments where you can keep focus should you want to. Some people say you're naive. We think you're smart. That is what we call a thinker and a maker in total sum. If you scored between 330 to 400, you are known as the controller. You know, Drake said it, controller. You're the type of person who does not like anything out of place. You like things well kept. If everything's out of order, you cannot function well. You like things in a particular order. But people still look up to you for your leadership skills and qualities, and they are enthusiastic to always follow you. Many say this is a control factor. Some say it is one thing that is admirable about you. You also have a side of you that presents empathy to people so you can understand where they are coming from. These are one of the qualities your friends and family admire about you, that you can be in tune with them and find out what they are feeling. So which one are you to the listeners out there? Are you a doer? Are you a thinker? Are you a maker? Or are you the controller? Those were the conclusions we had for our questionnaire. I hope you enjoyed it and liked it. So now, without further ado, I don't even want to waste time. I want us to go straight to the baby naming cultures, or the baby names that Yolokazi Kazi is going to be explaining to us. And if you want to know the meaning behind them, well, you're going to have it right here. Let's just take a quick listen on what she has to say.
Any time, let's just get into the most cute Zulu baby names, and I honestly hope that you are gonna like 3 or 2 or whatever and just use it for your babies. So the first name that iling shaya ngaphakathi is Umkhele. Oh, I love it, I love that Zulu name. I don't know why I have this picture. Since I'm talking about babies, I just felt like cuddling this. Anyways, so yeah, the first name is Umkhele. Umkhele, it means a crown. So love that name. It means the crown. It's such a very beautiful name. The second baby name that I have on my Zulu list that you can use in 2020 is Hlelo Lenkosi, or Hlelo Luhle. Oh my gosh, actually my friend's baby name is Hlelo Lenkosi, or Hlelo Luhle. It's such a beautiful name. It actually means God's plan, right? God's plan. I'm not supposed to be a singer. But anyways, it actually means that. I literally love that baby name, Hlelo Lenkosi. Hlelo Oluhle. Beautiful plans of God, or God's plan. Hlelo Lenkosi. It's such an amazing, beautiful name. The third name that I have on my list is Tingo Lwethu. Tingo, baby Tingo. It's such a very beautiful, unique name. It's not used often. It's a rare name. It's such a beautiful name, and it means rainbow. It's such a beautiful name, Tingo. Love it. The fourth name that I have on my list would be Sibani. Sibani, it's also I feel like it's one of the names that are used for babies in 2020, 2019, 2018. Kusukela lapho nje Sibani. I recently heard of it, Sibani. It's such a beautiful name, and it means light. It's a very beautiful name. And the fifth name that I have on my list is Enzo Kuhle. Oh my gosh! You guys, I promise you, I'm having another baby soon. I'm joking, guys. I'm not doing that anytime soon, okay? Anyways, Enzo Kuhle. It means great example, the one who does great things or beautiful things. Enzo Kuhle. I just think that's just a very beautiful name. And the sixth name that I have is Iyana Imvula Yezibusiso. It's raining God's blessings. I actually wrote the names down, so please don't mind me if I just keep on looking here, down. And then the other name is Nakani. I think build each other. That's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful name. So yeah, you guys, I think those are the names that I have for you today.
That was Yologazi Changi, who was giving us her point of view of picking names that she loved. And I say, wow, we thank you for that, because then it was an eye-opener of different meanings to your name and hoping that it would actually lead to who you're going to be in the future. Well, with me, it's about my origin story, saying Tando. You know, everyone knows Tando means love, but then my full name is Utando Lwetu, meaning our love, which came from my mom seeing me in her hands and looking at my father and says, you know what, this child is going to represent both of our love as a union. And I found that heartbreaking. There's so much more that I would love to tell you, but I don't have enough time. But I thank you for staying with us on Africanized Radio. You know the conversation never ends, so I still want you to continue sending me messages about what your name is. What does it mean? Does it actually build up to your characteristic or define you? Igama lakho ngubani? Libitso lakho ke mang? O lerato, o palesa, umbalenhle. Who are you? We just want to know, but we also want to thank you for being with us. Don't forget to also follow us on our Facebook page, which is Africanized Media. As well, we're on Instagram. So if you follow us, we'll follow you back with love. Our handle is African_eyes_media in small caps. I love you all, and I always love leaving you with that one sentiment that I feel I still gonna make it famous, which is Mashallah, we're done. God bless. I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. This is your host doing the most, Tando Makazoma, signing out. And don't forget, you were locked into Africanized Radio, and we were on African time.